Okay. Um, Hello, my viewers. I hope my sound is clear. Let me see. I can even tell. OMG. Let me see. I put some few things here that we can talk about. If you're here and you're looking to, an advice that I would give. Oh, I need to look to this camera. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. An advice that I would give you if you're relocating to United States. That's what we're here. And I hope my sound is good. If it's not good, I don't know who's gonna let me know because I don't have anyone here yet. I would prefer, let me see. I'm gonna have to get on my live and see if the sound is good. Let me get on YouTube. I just want to make sure that my live is working. Where is it? I mean, at sound. I'm literally just looking to see if I can hear myself because obviously I don't have anybody yet. Okay, here. Oh, okay. I can hear. Yay! I heard myself. Okay, I can hear. Yay! I heard myself. Okay, I can hear myself, so that's a good thing. Alrighty, so let's see. I want to talk about the advice that I would give you when you're lo- looking to relocate to United States. First of all, it's a good thing you have a good thought of relocating to United States. I remember when I first um, came to United States. Actually, I remember really well when I first thought of relocating to United States. I had zero knowledge. I just knew it's a beautiful country. I just knew that it's a place that I envision myself to be um, at the end of the day. Okay, that's what I knew, but little knowledge. And I was in high school. I remember I was in ninth or 10th grade. And what happened was my auntie and I had gone to a holy shrine. It's close to where I'm from, and it had just started right then. People had just discovered that holy shrine, and my auntie and I went there as the first kind of like group of people that had been invited. And I remember there was a nun that had come from Italy, that had come from Italy. And so there were so many prayers that were being offered that day. And I remember her asking if you have a prayer item that you would want God to fulfill for you, because this nun had given a testimony of like how she was disabled and God healed her and she now can walk again. So that was a great testimony. And so I remember clearly, I put with not so much knowledge about what I'm putting in. It was just a prayer item that I just put in there of what I expected God to do. And that was the first time I came to realize that whatever you write down, it will happen. As long as you believe God and God has His own time and His own season, it's out of our hand. Whatever you put down, God fulfills it. That was the first time I realized the power of writing things down and manifesting them. So I wrote I would want to go to United States. Of course, I forgot about it because years passed, so many years passed after that. And one day I was in college. My sister, my younger sister, had called me and she's like, "Oh, you need to come at home because you have some forms that you need to fill." And I'm like, "What kind of forms do I need to fill?" And so they were process of green card. It was the first time I heard about green card. I had not known anything about green card at all. And so I filled those forms not knowing anything about them, lack of knowledge, not knowing anything. Somebody else was facilitating. And guys, just know God sent people out there, someone out there, not even people. He will structure them, but He sent someone to just be your door. And my sister, my younger sister, was my door. She facilitated every single detail about my coming to United States or relocating to United States. I had zero knowledge. Even today, there are times I sit down and I'm like, wait a minute, how did I even come here? Totally, that's the truth. And so, now that I'm here, I have learned quite a few things, and those are the things that I would love to share with you. My coming to United States was literally just a godly orchestrated thing because, again, like I said, I manifested it not knowing that it will ever come to pass. I wrote it down on a piece of paper when we had gone to a shrine, a holy shrine, and I said I would love to go to United States. I was in high school, and that just did not occur until like 2000 and something. Well, many years after that. I want to say like 6 years after that. That's when it came to life. And of course I did not know the process or whatever. I just said I want to go to United States, and here I am. So let's start the topic. What advice would I give you if you're looking to relocate to United States? First of all, don't be like me. Do the research. Of course, before doing the research of why you want to go to United States, no, actually do the research why you want to go to United States and what city. Every city has its own way of living standard. It has its own way of culture. Every state or city has its own way of living. Somebody living at New York has different experiences with somebody living at Atlanta or Texas. Every city has its own demand. Just like you're in a village, there is a certain village here. They have their own protocols that are different from the other village. It's totally different. Do research of where you want to live because some cities are expensive and some cities are way cheaper. Some cities are affordable in even just the living cost itself. Do a huge research. And when you settle on the research that you want to, on the research that you have found, I want to say start having a social group. Honestly, a social group helps a whole lot, and especially for people that are in the city or the state that you have decided to move into. Engage with anyone that you come across. It don't have to be somebody that you know. Just create that social group of getting to know, ask people questions. How is this place? Um, Develop that social group. Those are the things I would know. I would ask because when I came here, honestly, I did not have a social group. It was just my sister and family friend, and now the friends of my sister and the friends of my family friends. Of course, they're not going to be my friends because of so many things, but we'll have conversation. And so my coming here was a bit harder, y'all, because okay, I had manifested of coming to United States, and I'm here now. I'm here, and um, I don't have anyone I know apart from my sister or my family, and of course, it's just a lot. It was harder, really hard for me. But we have overcome all those things. And trust me, even today, I'm still learning something new. And relocating to United States, understand the culture of that state. Every state has different culture. Understand the laws that governs that city. Understand the rules of driving, because when you get here you would want to drive because majority of people drive. Or if you want to, before you get a car, how is your mode of transportation? Arrange that ahead of time, kind of like think that way. When you come here, what would be your mode of transportation? Look for a place that is easily accessible. It has a bus. That's why you will have to engage yourself with a community. Get that social group. Develop that social group that will tell you, hey, if you come to this kind of city, there are no buses that are close by. You have to either do A, B, C, D, Uber, or these other things. And they can be expensive. And especially if you're new, you don't have a job, or you don't even have enough money to sustain you. Look onto these things. Okay, now you have found on the things that makes you really want to move to United States. So what is the process? The process will start with visa and immigration. This is, understand the visa requirements of United States, because every country has different visa requirement coming into United States. So understand the visa requirements that are in your country, or you coming or relocating from your country to United States. And I'm just going to touch bases on Kenya because that's where I'm from. So I'm going to touch much more of Kenya, but I feel like these laws or rules applies to any person that is relocating from a different continent or a different country and they're coming to United States. So understand the visa and immigration requirements based on your citizenship and purpose of stay. What is making you to come here? Are you coming as a business person? Are you coming as a student? Are you coming as a visitor, or are you coming as a green card holder? And so many other things. Are you coming as a religious, through religion? Are you coming through, what is it? STEM foundation. These are things engineered to engineering and technology, because that is something else. Are you working for, are you coming through work study? Are you coming through, as a student or exchange student, or are you coming as a work exchange? All these things differs with every requirement. So understand those visa requirements, what are needed, what you don't need, because not most of the time people will say, oh, you need this, you need that. I want to say, when you have created your social group, and also do your own research, because it's going to be wanted from your end. You can't just jump into something without you having a knowledge or having a research of what happened, because how are you going to ask questions if you haven't done your full diligence of you know research? So every visa has its own requirements. Somebody coming here as a green card holder is totally different with somebody coming to United States as a student or an exchange student or a visitor visa, or whatever other kind of visa. Every visa has different requirements, but of course there are many, what is it? Not many, there are major requirements that all holders must have. Of course, you'll have injection, you'll have to have doctor's note, clearance that you are okay, you are healthy, and all that kind of stuff. Of course, you will have to have a passport. So make sure all that is done. Your birth certificate, your identification card from the country that you are in, and all these things come in consideration. And so when you have started that process, also research the cost of living. Like I said, research the city that you want to go to live, or you are, excuse me, research the cost of living in the city that you want to go. Research the mode of transportation, because not every city has a bus or a train that you can get into. Like where I am from, if I want to catch a train, it will take me, I will have to go to a different city to catch that train. I mean, Ubers are there, um, Lyft are there, but then again, you're moving from a different country and you're coming to United States. Those can be a little bit expensive, because if you don't have enough money to sustain you, you don't want to dwell on Ubers, Lyft, or taxis. You will have to either think alternatively, either catch a train or catch a bus, and you have to find the place that you're going to. Do they have those mode of transportation? Because again, you don't want to be asking for people to give you ride, and then they're not always available to give you ride. You don't want to get stuck. At the same time, research about housing and the food, the stores, which are the nearby stores close there, grocery stores, how far are they, research on the actual city you would want to live. Take that initiative. Call. You are able to call now on WhatsApp or just text and say, hey, I want to know more information about this apartment or whatever. And most of these informations, they're online. Just get online, just do apartments near whatever, and then get to see the details of those apartments. How much are they charging? Because the prices is always going to be there in most places. 98.9% they are going to put prices on apartments, how much they are on it. And also food, research on the grocery store close by, because of course you're here as a fast timer and you don't have a car, you don't have that mode of transportation. So make sure that the place that you're going to live is not far from, either a bus station or a train station. Just make sure you're kind of like close in the vicinity. Even if you're just gonna live at a homestay place, homestay place is just kind of like a hotel or a motel, and they can give you like a 1 month. In that way, in that 1 month of staying there, or if you don't, if you have a roommate, the better. If you have a host, the better. But with the way I have seen people and heard of cases, I'd rather just have you have your own place unless otherwise. Okay. So the other thing is, if you're able to secure housing the moment you come here, do that immediately by, having enough money that sustain you and pays for rent. At least most of places now, they have either first month free, so you leave first month free and second month you pay, or some places they have 2 months free and then the third month you pay. But the third month you should have at least learned 2 3 things here and there, and that kind of like helps you a whole lot. Also, here there are rental agreements, so you will have to sign a rental agreement of like you have agreed to stay at that place either for 6 months. If you find like a homestay place, which is literally just a motel, most of those places are like 1 month or 2 weeks in advance. Or if you have a host, kind of like establish that rental agreement, you'll be paying that even if they are hosting you. Just have that kind of like, what is it, just be nice. Okay, just be nice, unless they don't ask you anything. Even if they don't ask you anything, just pay it forward, because however it is, just pay it forward, even if it's just cooking a meal for them, or paying, kind of like, if you're just able to pay rent money, or half rent money, or water bill, or whatever, just try to pay it forward in a way, just to be respectful. On the other hand, bank account, research on the best bank that you would want to invest your resources to. I want to say, start with Chase. Why Chase? Chase is a global bank, as far as I understand. I do not know about your country that you're coming from, but I know that Chase is much more of a global bank, and it's easily to access. They have they have low cost of charging you, and also they have great benefits in there. Okay, I would prefer Chase. But as far as I know, that is the best bank that I can think of. Of course, there are other major banks or credit unions that you will find, but Chase comes with a huge benefit on it. Also, when it comes to credit, that is one thing. So most people will advise you to get a credit card. Credit card is literally just a loan. You don't want to be in a loan. Hands up, if you are okay doing the credit, they say that credit card will make you build history, your credit history. It will build your credit history. That is in case that if you want to buy a car, they will look onto the credit history that you have. Or if you want to buy a house, they will look on your credit history that you have, or the relationship that you have. When you borrow loan, are you able to pay those loans right away? I am a huge advocate now. Do not put yourself in any borrowed money. I am a huge advocate. I have learned that years now, for several years now. Do not tangle yourself in any loan of whatsoever. Even if it's dripping honey from it, do not tangle yourself in it. Credit history. When you have an apartment, when you come here and you have an apartment, you're paying rent on it every single month. You're building history, you're building credit history on that. You don't need to have a credit card. No, I don't advocate for anyone having credit card, as they call them. No, no, no. Stay away from them. There's so many ways that you can build your credit history, and not through a credit card. Fine if you're money manageable, fine if you have money discipline, but it can catch up with you even without knowing, because you'll be like, oh, let me just slide $30 here. I can afford $30 tomorrow. You do not own tomorrow. You do not know what will happen tomorrow. My my word, do not put yourself in any credit card. No matter how much you think yourself to be very disciplined with money, do not. There's so many ways you can build your credit card through a phone. You having a phone, that the way you're paying, making payment, it will build your credit card. It will build your credit history that way. The rent, the utility bills that you will have, it's building that credit history that you will be looking for, that if down the road you choose to buy a house, they will look onto that and they will see, yes, this person has a good credit history. Although, if you still feel like you want to have a credit card, just get one. But again, it's not coming out in a good wording right now. Just do not settle on a credit card. Okay. Healthcare. Let's talk about healthcare. Insurance. Get health insurance coverage to protect yourself from medical expenses because they can be expensive. Medical expenses in United States, they are expensive. And I'm not saying this to scare you or to make you feel like I cannot afford that. I have known so well that having a health insurance is very important, but not everything that you need health insurance. Like, for example, eyes. You don't need an insurance for your eyes. Well, God forbid if something major happen, but you don't need to be paying $2 every month for your eyes, and maybe you will never use it. For me, I'd rather just set aside of money, you know, emergency money in case of something like eyes come in, or open a HSA account. A HSA account is a health reimbursed card, and you can be putting like $20 here, $20 there for how long you want to be. In that way, you have kept yourself out of dental insurance and eye insurances, because I don't think those are insurances that you want to be paying every single month. Because for the dental insurance, I mean, you're going to the dentist twice an year, okay? And twice a year, every month, you're paying like $10 for the dental. Now put that $10, open a HSA account and put that $10 in that account. In that way, it is building, it's building. If something major happen, you're paying it upfront and you're done with it. And guess what? That has also opened your credit history of like this person has paid in full amount of whatever. And this is money that you can always um, take out when it gets to kind of like a certain threshold that you have put in. It's money that you can use for your own personal use. It's literally just putting out money and saving it for yourself for a major thing. That's what I would advise you. But of course, you will have to have a health insurance. And because you're here and it's your first time, it takes a minute for you to have that health insurance, because of course you will wait for your paperwork to get back to you. There are places that are low cost, affordable, like the healthcare centers. They are low cost, affordable, and you can visit there if while you're waiting your papers you happen to have an urge that you want to go to the hospital. Just go to a healthcare place and get that. Of course, for when it comes to transportation, you would need a car at the end of the day, but again, because you did your research earlier when you thought of coming to United States, you have already thought of your mode of transportation. It's either you'll be catching an Uber, either to going to work or going from point A to point B, or if somebody is nice enough to just give you a car to use until you have fully kind of like sustained yourself in a way of like getting your own means of transportation, that would be better. But always make sure that you decide on a car that you want. Don't go into a car loan. Don't borrow cars that you're paying every single month in mind of like you're building credit. No, don't do that, guys. Do not be a borrower. Even God Himself doesn't like borrowers, and He's teaching us really well to stay away from being borrowers. We need to be lenders. If you're listening to me, you need to be a lender. Okay. So when you get here, you will have a driver license. So make sure you have everything that is needed for you to acquire a driver license. First, they will ask for a utility bill. So when you come here, that would be the first thing that you start having. If it's a phone bill, that's considered to be a utility bill. Utility bill is things like paying for electric, paying for water, paying for trash, your house rent. Those are term to be utility bill. And so make sure you have that, and that's what will make you to obtain that driver license. For a minute, you can use your passport as your identification card for a while, but with time you start wanting to transfer from walking around with your passport and just get a driver license, because it's easier that way. Passport can get lost, and when it get lost, it takes a minute for you to get a new one. So just have that in consideration, and build a support network. When you're here, get to know what church can you attend to, how far is it, what you're there. Just build your support, your neighborhood, your neighbors here. When you get here, just get to learn your next door neighbor. I mean, it's hard to have a social network here, and I'm not going to lie that to you, that is easy. It's hard to build a social network here, but when you have it, maintain it, and also be disciplined with that kind of social network, because some people, when they know that you're new, they want to kind of like speed you up into catching up with life here, and you might end up into the wrong group. Just have the wisdom, always question things, and that's why even before you come here, you have researched a whole lot. You kind of like understand quite a bit of the lifestyle, the culture, and the support group that you have formed is teaching you or guiding you to the right ways. And just stay informed. That's just literally, that's it. Just stay informed as much as you can, because you are in a foreign country, a new place, you don't know nothing but much. So either way, you'll have to stay informed. Ask questions where you go when you go to the grocery store. Ask questions. Don't be scared, don't be afraid. The support group that you have found, ask them questions. At the church that you have found, ask questions. The place of work that you have found, ask questions, because that transition is a major transition. The way of living that you were living at the country that you're coming from, or you have come from, and now that you have come to United States, is two different things. There are things like you did in your country you will not do when you come to United States. And as the saying goes by, you do as Romans do. Of course, not everything. I don't say that you come here, you are not an alcoholic when you are in your country, and now because you're here and the Romans here, they're alcoholic, and now you start to be an alcoholic person. No, that's not what I'm saying. Just know the things that you are doing in your country that will not work in United States. And you have to like balance of what can I do, what can I not do, what is good for me and what is not good for me. Just have that balance and be unaware. Okay, lastly, and this one I'm going to say because I am still okay, I am still adapting. I have been here a few decades now, okay? And I have not fully settled. I'm not going to lie that I have settled. No, I am still adapting to some things. Like the food here, I have never gotten used to the food. No, I am slowly getting there to adapting the food here in United States. There are things, their behaviors, and they're just things I'm still learning to adapt to them, not in a way of tolerating them, but in a way of like, okay, now I kind of like know what works for me and that which doesn't work for me. Now I kind of like know where to go and not where to go. Now I kind of like know A and B. I'm differentiating a whole lot now. It has taken me a long time, and I'm different. There are people who come here, and in within the first, second year, they feel like they have adapted. For me, my case has been different, okay? I struggled so much in the beginning, and those struggles have kind of like continued for several years until I started saying, oh no, this thing has to stop. My coming here to United States could be different to your coming. Your adaptability could be different with mine. It has taken me over 2 decades to adapt, and I haven't fully adapted. Okay? That is what I want to say. Culture is huge. Your culture from where you're coming from and the culture here in United States, they are not the same. Do not be lied that the things you did back there is going to be the same that you did here. You may not have the law that governed you fully in the country that you're coming from, and now you come to United States, you have a law that governs you. It tells you cannot be drinking anytime that you want, you can't be smoking out in public anywhere, or you can't be whatever. There are laws. You can't be driving while you're drunk. While your country, there are people who drive while they are drunk, or you can't do this. When you go to work, you have laws and orders that you have to follow. Culture is different in ways of dressing, in ways of mentality, in ways of conversations, in so many ways, so many ways. And I will tell you, the first to most 5 years, you will experience a huge culture shock. I'm not gonna lie. Um, that was my major thing, because if you were used of having, when you get out from work in your country and now you're in United States, and you were so used back in your country of like, when you get off from work, you're going to interact with your friends, you're going out a place and sit down and enjoy a nice meal or whatever. You will find it totally different here. You will find that you don't even have that friend that you can hang out with because everybody is busy. This country is a 24/7 working country, okay? What I mean by 24/7 working country, it has 3 shifts. Okay. So people are working all through, having that social life. Whew, even today, if there is something I have struggled to build or even to maintain, is the social life. It's hard. And I'm saying we're all different fishes in the ocean. My way of living, my way of adaptability could be different with yours. Younger people can adapt really easily now, thankfully, with the social media, because in any other country that you are in, you can have, you can create that social group. You can create that, that kind of interaction. When we came, we did not have that kind of social group, and it took forever. So either the social group, you would find them at church places or gathering places, but now social group, they are, oh my gosh, it's a breakthrough. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of, if you're in the social media, take advantage of that social that you have created. But when you come here, culture shock is real, and too real. I don't It's too real for any age, okay? Extremely too real. From food, living standard, you are used of living a house with 20 people. You get out from your house, you go knock the door of your neighbor. You won't find it here. Oh my gosh, you won't find it here. It's a different story, okay? Culture shock is something that I'm no longer in that culture shock anymore, I wouldn't say, but there's still many things, even after 2 decades and some years there. I am still in that culture. That social life um, depletion. I don't have that social life, which sometimes it can be good, it can be bad. It has 2 ways. But anywho, that is what I would say, or advice that I would give you when you're looking to relocate to United States. Just have a lot of patience. Don't rush yourself. Don't try to copy the behaviors of here. There are so many behaviors. Don't copy them. Just be yourself. Just be yourself. Be patient while you're growing because you are starting all over again. Have that mentality. You're not coming, I mean, you relocating here, even if you have a host that holds your hand, walk you through from A to B, even if you have a family friend that holds you to from point A to B, accept culture shock. Accept the culture shock. It will catch you like this. And also accept patience because you will have that patience a whole lot. Exercise that even before you're thinking to relocate. Exercise patience because things here, either they might rush you depending on how aggressive you are. If you're not aggressive enough, just bottom line, be patient and try to adapt as you go. Just don't rush yourself in any way. Don't try to catch up with your friends, or your friend came here 2 months ago and now they are supporting their family back home. Your door and their door and my door, totally different doors. The blessings that you will carry when you come here, or even where you are, my blessing, the blessing of the other person or your host, totally different. Just be patient with yourself, learn as you go, embrace what comes your way, but of course, not everything will be good. Judge it rightfully. Don't separate yourself from the community. At the end of the day, you need that community. Learn as much as you can before you have fully transitioned. Research a whole lot before you transition to United States. Understand the ways of living, the cost of living, the place that you want to go live at. Come into agreement with the person that could be hosting you, or if you don't want to have a host, where are you going? Are you going to choose to stay at a hotel or a motel? How much are they charging? What is attached to it. Find packages that are giving you a package. If it's apartment, some apartments they have, you move in the first month or 2 months they are free. That would be ideal because by the time it comes to the third month, you have gotten your paperwork or that kind of stuff, and then you're just ready to get in. Also, I forgot something. If you're coming here before you get a job, it might take a minute. Most people say that get into healthcare. Not everybody has a mindset of healthcare. I included. When I came here, I was in the healthcare back in my country. But when I came here, they have requirements that you have to have. First, they were asking me to have my license and all those things, and it would take longer. And that kind of like broke my heart, and I lost passion to it. So, not everything here. Yes, healthcare you can get in really easily, but not everybody has a mind of a healthcare. Do not just get into healthcare just because somebody told you that's the easy way to get a job. No, 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 no. Have a trade. Have a trade. As far as I know nowadays, trades are the ones that are paying bills and supporting people. Do you agree? Let me know in the comment. Have a trade that you can do. When you come here, market that trade, start that network, making that your trade to be known out there in the world. Whatever, if you braid hair, braid it, come here and start saying, hey, I'm coming to a certain place. I'm looking for people to braid hair. Do that. If you're cooking, if you're at a chef, have that trade that you have, that will you market it when you come here, while you're waiting to have that job, because it will take you a minute. Not any job will come in like the first month or second month. And so first, second month to the third month, you don't have an income that is coming. But if you have a trade, you can have income. If you are a lady, you do lashes, you do eyebrows, you do nails, perfect it. Perfect that skill. Perfect that trade. If you are a man, if you do carpentry, if you do whatever trade you have, exercise that trade, perfect it, or if you don't have a trade, learn before you fully transition. When you thought of you want to relocate to United States, if there's something that sustains people here, it's trades. Whatever skill that you have, become better at it. So when you come here, you know where to start, because most of these trades, they require very minimal um, finance to put in. That's the advice I can give. Any other advice that I would think of later on, I will let you guys know. But I think that's all I can think of. Do research a whole lot. Make sure your visa and immigrations things, you have researched that really well, and you know the requirements of what is needed for those visa and the immigration. Research about your cost of living, where you're going to live, the city. Every place is different. Your person living in California, person living in Delaware, person living in Texas or Alabama, their cost of living is totally different. There are places that are very pricey, there are places that are cheaper, there are places that are extremely affordable. Like when you go to the northern places, the west coast where it's cold, Alaska places, people don't want to live there, and most people are given sponsorship to live there. Look at those places, and then maybe later on you can move to a better place. Look at places like Nevada. Those are places that most people don't want to live there because of the weather, and so the government is willing to pay these people to live there in an exchange of work for them. Look at those places. Think of such places like those. I mean, it's not things that I would really advise you to do, but hey, if you want to really come, look at places like Alaska. It's easy to relocate when you're going to Alaska, because the government will pay you to live there for a certain time. It is extremely cold, but if you're looking to stay, that's what I would say. um, Research about the cost of living, the job market, the cultural differences, because they're going to be huge, 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 huge. Okay. You were used of, going to church and jumping, you're worshiping free. Churches here, I miss churches in Africa a whole lot. Majority of the churches that I have attended here, they are laid back. You might find you're the only one jumping and clapping for God. But hey, like I say, if you're a free spirit, you're not scared, and you know what you're doing, you're jumping for God, you're praying for God, do it. I mean, culture shock here is different. If you have not seen a person going to a grocery store with a pajama, don't be shocked when you see that. Okay, just don't be shocked. If you see people smoking on the street and you did not see that in your country, just expect a lot of culture differences, okay? And a lot of culture shock. Food is still a major thing for me, even after living here for 2 decades and something. Food, I have not adapted to it. I'm slowly getting there, and I slowly get there every year. Research about the schools that you're gonna go if you have children. Research about the school, their requirements, what is needed for that child to be admitted to the school or to be able to attend to that school. um, you know Secure your housing if you have to do. However, it is either through your host, a rental place, or a roommate. You've been a roommate because you are not used of having roommates. Now you have a roommate here. You living with a stranger. It's so much. It's so much. But let those not discourage you. What I say is be patient where you're learning, where you're navigating, learning to navigate from A to B. Just be patient with all those things. And also, you will have to have healthcare, establish your finances. And again, I touched, most people advise others to have a credit card. I am a huge advocate to not have a credit card. Reason is, God has told us not to be borrowers. And I don't want you to be a borrower. Even when you have the mind of like, oh, I'm going to pay this. Yes, money. If you're not fully disciplined, just don't have a credit card. There's so many ways you can build your credit history. And building your credit history is, securing a reputative way of like you're able to make payments on time. You're never late in making any payment. That comes in different way. When you have a phone bill, utility bills at like phone bill, water bill, you have a rental, you're making payment every single month and you're making it on time, that comes in your history. And if you down the road you're looking to buying a house, they're looking on, is this person making payment on time? So when they look at your credit history and they see this thing, they're able to approve you really fast. But when you have a credit card, I'm not an advocate for that. If you have to have it, just one, but also be disciplined with it, because credits credit cards are literally just loans. You don't want to be in any loan. We are lenders, not borrowers. That is my word. Okay, transportation, just make sure your transportation is well catered for, is planned promptly, and you have thought about that a whole lot. Build a support network. Build a support network. Let me repeat it again. Build a support network. Everywhere you go, even where you are right now, if it's not the support network that you have, the things that you wouldn't know, the things that you will need help to get to, or just be informed through your social network or support network. Stay informed as much as you can. And especially if you're coming here as a family oriented person, what I mean is you're a married couple and you have children, stay informed, because somebody coming here as a student, their requirements and their ways of living or their adaptability is totally different. Their ways of navigating from point A to B or from one thing to the other is totally different with a person who is much more of a family oriented. Somebody coming here is a visitor with a visitor visa or a work business visa, their orientation is totally different with a person coming as, again, as a family person or a family. Their adaptability is totally different. Just build your support network. Support network is somebody who tells you, hey, if you're looking to go to a grocery store, this is where you need to go. Hey, if you need help with the children, these are the daycares that you can go to, or there is somebody who take care of the kids. They live in their own homes. This is how much you pay. Just have that support group or network that helps you in the things that you do not know. Because if you did not do all your research well, you will find that when you get here, the things that you did back in your country that do not even apply at all here. You cannot even try to put them to kind of like fit in. You cannot blend them. So with your support network, they will kind of like help you a whole lot. They're kind of like tour guides in a way. They help you in your life. And what is, be patient while you're adapting. Okay. I can't say less or more about that. Just be patient while you are adapting here. Just remember, moving to a new country is a significant transition. Okay. A huge one, a major one. I don't know what word can make that to be very clear to you, but just remember, moving to a new country is a major transition, because if you had already started a life in your country, that life you have left it completely, and now you're starting all over again. Think of putting your child or starting from baby class. Okay? Just think it that way. You're starting all over again from baby class, because you will have baby steps before you even graduate. I haven't even graduated. Okay? I haven't graduated. Living life in America. I'm still in school. Well, not like in school. I'm still in the school of life. Okay? In United States as a foreigner, because I still consider as a foreigner, but I'm a citizen now. Um, just have patient. Yeah, it's a major transition, but by planning ahead, being prepared, and embracing the experience, you can make your relocation a successful one. Does that give you hope? Planning, and that's what I'm telling you, or I was teaching you, planning things ahead of time, doing good research, creating that network, um, just being ahead of things. It will, when you have all this, it can make you embrace your experience here and make your transition to be very successful. But if you don't have those things lined up, that can be harder too. But anywho, I know I have repeated myself over and over again, but I just wanted to make sure that these points are fully out there and you guys understood. And if you have any questions, please put it down, let me know. I'll be happy to answer that. But that is just something I thought of. Like, let me talk about it, because my vlogs, literally, they're just lifestyle and in my way of living here in the United States. And so a person maybe would want to know, how did you come here, or what. So it's just out there for you to bookmark all these things. And if there's something I did not make clear of, let me know in the comments, or you can get yeah, just let me know in the comment, and I'll be gladly to answer that. In the meantime, peace of Christ, and take care of yourself.